Hello everyone, welcome to Bhadra IAS Academy. Now we are preparing for the Nagaland Civil Service exam. So we are discussing some topics for economics related preparation. In this video today, I am going to discuss an important topic called price level, where we discussed inflation, deflation, all this concept we'll discuss. So what is the context? How do we study this topic? Normally it will come for your prelims point of view, the topic called inflation. So now let us look at this inflation. What is inflation? Generally we say inflation is a condition where price level is increasing. So normally when we talk about increase in price level, we don't talk about one or two commodity price increasing. Rather we talk about price increases for average level, right? So that is where we talk about average price level. When the average price level increases consistently, persistently, then we call that phenomenon as inflation. Okay. Now, what is the inflation then? In simple way, you can say inflation is the rate of increase in the price level. So when the price level keeps on increasing, that increase in the price level, the rate of increase is generally what we call it as inflation. Okay. So the image there clearly shows you inflation is when price level is going upwards. Now let us compare some concepts. Inflation, as I told you, is when you have the price level going up like this. Just the opposite of inflation is what we have, deflation. What is a deflation? Deflation generally means you have a decrease in the price level. That is the average price level. So if you look at here, in deflation price level goes down. In inflation price level goes up. Okay. So inflation and deflation are just opposite poles. Clear? Now we have some technical concepts also to understand. What is a disinflation? Inflation, deflation, okay. What is disinflation? Now this kind of question you might get it in the prelims. So disinflation basically refers to the slow rate of increase in the price level. Matlab price level is increasing but at a very slow rate. This slow rate of increase in price level is generally called as disinflation. Clear? Similarly, we have another concept called reflation. Now what is reflation? When economy is going down into recession or deflation, government and RBI take some steps, some measures, some policy to increase the price level. So the efforts made by government or RBI to increase the price level, that is actually what we call the concept of reflation. So if you look at this diagram, here you can see this was the situation where we had inflation. Now price is going very low. So now what happened? We have to bring the economy back up. So in this phase, what happened? The government and RBI announced a lot of policy to make sure that the economy once again comes up. So this phase where the government takes a lot of actions like fiscal policy, tax cut, RBI ka rate of interest cut, all these things are together is what we call reflation. Clear? So you have to be very clear about this kind of concepts for your prelims preparation. The next concept with regard to the chapter of price level is the concept of stagflation. What is this stagflation? How do we understand stagflation? Generally we say stagflation is a combination of two or three things together. What are they? First one, you have a very high inflation and GDP growth is very slow, very down, and same time you also have a high unemployment. When these three things are combined together, that situation is called stagflation. It means economy is stagnated with a high inflation. That is the combination of stagnation and inflation. It becomes stagflation. So if you look at here, stagflation has three major features. You have high inflation, high unemployment and low GDP. All these things combined together becomes stagflation. Is this clear? So this is a very simple concept. Now we are going to look at how do you estimate inflation in India. What are the estimating concepts we use for inflation? Normally we talk about two general indices. First one is called WPI. It means the wholesale price index. The second one is called CPI, consumer price index. The wholesale price index basically captures the wholesale market price, and the CPI basically captures the retail price which we pay every day for purchasing goods and services. The CPI is further divided into CPI for industrial workers, CPI IW, CPI AL and RL, agricultural labor and rural laborer, and CPI urban, rural and CPI combined. For your exam, remember, for monetary policy, RBI uses CPI combined. Clear? For monetary policy, RBI uses the CPI combined. Now some basic things that you need to keep in mind for exam. The WPI, what is the base year of WPI? The base year for WPI is 2011-12 and it has 697 commodities, goods, and it is published by Office of the Economic Advisor. Now all this information can be asked in your prelims exam. Therefore I put this table in a summary form. Now similarly CPI IW base year is 2016 and published by the Labour Bureau. CPI AL RL rural labor or agricultural labor, these two they are also published by same Labour Bureau. Then we have CPI urban rural combined. These are published by the NSO, National Statistical Office. So who publishes which index? This comes in civil service prelims exam. Okay. The next one we need to look at the measurement is WPI. When we talk about the WPI, goods are divided into three categories. Which are they? You have the first one, primary articles, all the food items come here. Then we have a fuel and power. Then we have a maximum importance given to manufactured products from the industry. Now these are the three categories how WPI, the 697 items are classified. So remember for exam, WPI goods are divided into three baskets. Okay. Similarly, we have the other one called CPI. Now CPI, the consumer price index, it measures what we call, as I told you in the beginning, it measures the retail price. It is also called cost of living index. This question you will get in the prelims. Which of the following is called cost of living index? We normally call the CPI as the cost of living index. Okay. So the CPI basically measures the retail price that we have to pay, and also people's salary, dearness allowance, it all depends on the CPI. Okay. Now WPI, as I told you, is divided into three baskets. What about CPI? So if you see the CPI IW, the industrial worker, it is divided into six baskets. So which are the six baskets? You have the first one, food and beverages. And food and beverages has the maximum weight, followed by all these pan, gudka, intoxicants, very minimum weight. Then we have a fuel, light, housing, clothing, footwear. Miscellaneous refers to various services. Okay, like healthcare, education, all that, medicine, all this will come under miscellaneous. So for exam perspective, we need to understand WPI is divided into three major categories. CPI is divided into 6 baskets. Okay. Now based on this we can say highest weight in CPI is given to the food and beverage basket, that is the 39%. Whereas in WPI, food and beverages, they have very less weight. It comes under the primary articles. Clear? So now for your exam preparation, for your prelims preparation, price level, the concept of inflation, concept of deflation, concept of reflation, disinflation, concept of stagflation, and the division of CPI and the WPI you need to study. In WPI, as I told you, you focus on how many items are there, as I showed you here, and then you look at who is the publishing authority and what is the base year. Now these things are like 100% topics which are expected in the prelims exam. Okay, and as I told you, the CPI also you need to study what are the basic features of CPI and the categories of division. Okay, so today we have discussed the topic called price level. In the upcoming video, I will also discuss what are the causes of inflation and how to control inflation, what are the measures by government, that is the fiscal policy measures and monetary policy measures. Okay, you keep watching and following our videos because we will be coming out with more topics will cover for your Nagaland civil service preparation. If you have any further query or you want to get more information, you can contact Bhadra IAS online Nagaland civil service at 8638391721. Okay, as I told you, keep following the videos. We will come out with more topics for your preparation. Thank you.